Able to seal him. Here's the pass. Oh, what a catch! Leaping into the air and pulling it down is T. Higgins. Burrow facing pressure. Goes over the top. Wide open is Chase. And he splits the defenders for the touchdown. Cincinnati kid, Hubbard's got a convoy, chased by Andrews, at the 30, the 20, he will score!
Hey, Jake.
Hey, you there?
Yes.
All right, Houday Bengal fans. He is Maan. I am Jake. This is the Bengals Pulse, the heartbeat of our Cincinnati Bengals. Although it is a broken heart right now, Maan, my wife and I just got to our hotel room after sitting through that up and down emotional roller coaster. Unbelievable that the Bengals walk away with a loss in that game. So many things to talk about on both sides of the ball. Just very poor play today. Maan, again, I don't know what it looked like from your side watching on TV, but I can tell you watching it live, it never seemed like the Bengals were. I don't know. They just seemed really flat, man. How did it look from your side?
Yeah, I agree with you. To our listeners, I'm sorry. Just updated the software on my computer. I'm having some technical issues here. If we have some glitches here, be patient with us. I apologize. Yeah, they were flat. That's a great word. Nobody can convince me this team was looking ahead to Thursday night. That game, it's a brutal loss. We had no business being in the game, and followers, we got to be real. We had no business being in it, but we were, and we could have easily won. Tyler Boyd did drop the pass. I don't want people to hate on Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd's been a great Bengal his whole career. There's about 17, 20 other plays we can talk about in this game. You don't give up 188 yards rushing to one of the worst rushing teams in the NFL. You don't do that and deserve to win a football game. Our offense and defensive line was absolutely manhandled today, and it's unacceptable. And, I'm sorry, I'm a little fired up about it, but you got to take care of business at your home stadium. And to give up over 500, almost 550 yards to a team that has a rookie quarterback. I know he's playing great. They got a lot of good players, but their defense was not the strong point to their team. And after we scored our first touchdown, Jake, I'm rambling, I'm sorry. We went 5 possessions and we got 44 yards after that first drive. 44 yards of offense after that first touchdown drive. And then what happened in between that? Our defense was giving up 100, 200 yards of offense to the Texans. The Texans were running up and down the field. It's a brutal loss. I'm frustrated. The Ravens loss, that sort of helps out a little bit, but perfect opportunity to pick up a game, and we dropped the ball.
Again, both sides. The coaching staff, I think there's some blame there as well. Like you said, this Bengal team looked completely unprepared. Again, you just hate to think that professionals would overlook a football game because the Texans came in hot. This was not a team that was bottom of the barrel, but like you said, rookie quarterback. And honestly, Mon, watching it live, there were Texans running wide open all over the place. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I know I'm hard on the defense. Offensively, we were absolutely terrible for 2.5 quarters, really. But defensively, this is the worst I've seen the defense play probably in 2 years. I'll tell you, man. I don't know how many missed tackles we had today, but it was double digits, well over double digits missed tackles. This no pressure at all on the rookie quarter. You know how you beat a rookie quarterback, man? You blitz the hell out of them and you make them uncomfortable. And C.J. Stroud sat back there and had all day long to pick this defense apart. Again, I put a lot of this on the coaches. I'm with you. I mean, I know obviously as a coach myself, I'm not going to put the blame on one person, but I will say this, Mon. Tyler Boyd is paid to make that catch, and he's going to make that catch. I mean, we can't not talk about the significance of that drop by Tyler Boyd. He's got to make that play, and but at the same time, like you said, the two Joe Burrow interceptions were terrible. I mean, terrible throw. Things that we don't see from Joe at all. The second interception, I mean, we were in the stadium after he threw it. We were in disbelief. It was such a bad play. But again, offensively, there was no rhyme or reason to the play calling today. It was just all over the place. Like, back last year when we talked about throwing darts at a dartboard, that's what the offense looked like today. There was no consistency at all. We didn't run the football. We didn't put Joe under center. Offensive line was just atrocious today, and everybody just looked off. It was just an odd game. It really was.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd should have caught that ball. No doubt about it. I'm not trying to give him a free pass. We probably win the game. I think the Texans would have had the ball with a minute and a half left, and they could have been a little more aggressive the way our defense was playing. We don't know. You're right. I agree. I stick up for the defense all the time. The stats I just read pretty much tell you they deserve a majority of the blame. It's unbelievable. I throw the offense out, that great drive, the nice pass to Trenton Irwin. Hey, man, we come out one of those 5 drives, 2 of those 5 drives, we control the clock, get about 6, 7 first downs. The stats by the Texans wouldn't be as big as they are now because guess what? We'd have the ball a little bit longer. Time of possession all the way around really wasn't that bad. They had the ball about 4 minutes more than us, not, compared to earlier losses this year. But, Jake, I'm going to say it again. 34 rushes for 188 against one of the worst rush teams in football. That's horrible. And you know what? If our fans that, don't want us to talk negative about the Bengals, I'm still raw emotionally right now. That offensive line should be embarrassed. They gave up 4 sacks. Burrow was hit 10 other times and hit hard. You have got to do a better job. You got to do a better job than that. It's just unacceptable. And that defensive line, man, start calling up people from the practice squad. Call up that the Davis guy. Tuafele who's getting pushed around. You can't have a performance like that at home. You can't do it. And I'll say it again. They were looking ahead to Thursday night football against the Ravens. Well, guess what? Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You have a loss on your belt. You have a loss.
You hope to think that that wasn't the case. They are professionals, but I'm not going to put it past them. Just the way we came out and how bad we looked. You said that first drive, we go right down the field where I think Tanner Hudson had 5 receptions that first drive. We're moving the ball around, we're spreading around, and then it just went to hell. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. And being in the stadium, it was like an emotional roller coaster. I swear to you, Mon, it reminded me of the Steelers game last year that you and I sat through. It was the same feel of that. The Bengals came out flat today. The offensive line was atrocious, just like last year against the Steelers. We couldn't do anything offensively. We had no business being in the game, and somehow we claw our way back and then lose it at the end in a heartbreaking fashion where we let the Texans go right down the field. Again, we have them 3rd and 7, and Dalton Schultz, their best receiver, is running down the middle of the field wide open. But again, Mom, there were players running wide open all day long. The safeties played so poorly today. And again, this loss is not on one player or one coach. This was a team effort. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is the type of loss that can not only cost you, well, probably did cost us that first round bye, but it can cost you a playoff, an opportunity to be in the playoffs. Now we go 1-3 in the conference. We're 1-4 in the conference. All 4 losses to AFC teams. just absolutely brutal today, Mon.
Yeah, it is. Especially with the Ravens coming in and losing to the Browns, it would have been optimal. Um, I knew this game was going to be a challenge. We said it on last week's episode. If they're looking ahead, they're going to lose. I'd never in a million years thought they were going to lose. I mean, I thought it would be a challenge, but I thought they'd win and, win in a decisive manner. But, not having T. Higgins hurt, not having Hubbard. Hubbard is a great run defender. That hurt. These rookies, maybe weren't lining up in the right gap, or the young guys, they're not rookies. But I'm worried about Trey Hendrickson. That guy rolled up on him way after the play. I thought that was cheap. Hopefully he's not injured bad. Man, just a really frustrating day. And I love this team, man. The Bengals are my hobby. People go hunting, people go fishing, they do all this stuff. I work, hang out with my family, and I just follow the Bengals. That's me. I'm a sports nerd, and this stuff means a lot to me, and it sucks.
I mean, they are my hobby as well, and this was just a brutal loss, man. I really don't even know how else to say it. People are walking out of the stadium just in shock, and it was just like, you remember when we walked out of the stadium in the Pittsburgh game last year? It was the same kind of, you're walking out like, how the hell did we lose that game? But how the hell were we in that game? It was that kind of feel. I mean, let's be realistic, Mon. If it weren't for two fumbles, the Texans easily could have beat us by 3 scores. This Bengals team played that badly. I think we won the turnover battle, right? 3-2. I don't have the
Yeah.
stats in front of me, but we won the turnover battle. Who won the time of possession?
They did. I got the stats for you right here real quick, Jake. They had 28 first downs to our 20. They ran a total of 74 plays for 544 yards. We ran 60 plays for 380. Real quick on that, we had that lull where we scored the touchdown, 5 consecutive possessions with only 44 yards. We can't be that way. We can't just flip the switch with 16 minutes left inside to be an offense, and we have to be more consistent because, complementary football, that throws everything off. But like again, we had a total of 60 snaps for 380 yards, a majority of those in the last 18 minutes of the game. Let's see here. Time of possession, Texans 31-30 to our 28-30. I'll give you some team stats here. Let's see. Joe Burrow finished the day 27-40 for 347, 2 TDs and 2 interceptions that he normally doesn't throw. He was reaching. He was trying to make a play because we were behind 10 points at that time. Sacked 4 times for 33 yards. We talk about that. He was hit numerous other times. That offensive line has got to do a better job. It's just unacceptable. Joe Mixon had 11 carries for 46. Joe Burrow scrambled 5 times for 20. Jamar Chase, 5 for 124. That great 60-yard touchdown. That was amazing. Tyler Boyd, 8 for 117. I wish he had 6 more yards on that one. Trenton Irwin, 2 for 54. Tanner Hudson, 6 for 33. 5 of those in the first quarter. Drew Sample, 2 for 12. That one interception to him. I don't know. I don't know why he was targeting him. He was open, threw it a little high. Travion Williams, 1 for 2. Irv Smith, 1 catch for 6 yards. DJ Reader had a fumble recovery. Mike Hilton had a fumble recovery. Let's see who else here. Cam Taylor-Britt led our team in tackles with 9 total. Jermaine Pratt had 9. Mike Hilton had 8. Cheeto had 8. Dax Hill had 7. Cam Sample had 5. Logan and Trey each got a half a sack. The Bengals only had 1 sack total. We need more from our star players, from our draft pick. We need Miles Murphy to step up and give us some quality snaps. They really miss Hubbard. That's pretty much for the Bengal stats right there. I mean, it does look good on paper, but you look at the defensive side, Stroud had 356. Singletary, 30 carries for 150. 30 carries for 150. That
Terrible.
kills me. And here's the one that is just the backbreaker. Noah Brown, 7 for 172 receiving.
I mean,
that's unbelievable.
I'm telling you, they ran the same play action boot play. They probably ran that 12 times. I mean, I'm not counting, but it felt like 10 or 12 times they ran that boot. They were successful 11 of 12. Obviously, the 12th one was the interception. But Noah Brown was so wide open on 3 of those plays, Mon. Literally, there was not a Bengal within 20 yards of him. I mean, he was running down the field wide open. Just a poor effort from both sides of the ball, like you said. Joe Mixon, uh, 11 carries. I mean, 11 carries, Mom. There's no reason why he shouldn't have had 20 touches today. Offensively, again, we were just all over the place. I mean, there was no rhyme or reason, and that's what happens when you go 5 straight possessions and you get 44 yards. I mean, this Bengals team should have easily put 40 on the board today, and this is just an unacceptable loss. You think about the loss to the Titans, and now you lose to the Texans. I mean, these are losses that are going to come back and bite us in the ass. And shame on the Bengals for showing up the way they did today.
4 players really stood out for the Texans, and they had career type games. If you could go back, they're going to go back and look at the end of the year. They're going to look at the game that stood out the most. It's going to be this one. Noah Brown going 7 for 172, Singletary 30 for 150. That's a season high. Both of them, season high for both of them. Stroud putting up 356. Here's the big one. Sheldon Rankins, been in the league many years, former number 1 pick, 3 sacks today. He destroyed our interior. Volson, Kappa, Karras didn't have an answer for this guy. He could have had probably 2 more. Hey, man, the Browns did us a favor today. The Browns did us a favor today.
Yeah, but I mean, we're now we drop a game and a half behind the Browns. Now we drop a game, really a game and a half behind the Steelers. These next 2 games are must wins. I mean, these next 2 games, the Steeler game and the Ravens game on Thursday, you don't win these 2 games, and it's you're just going to be crawling out of a hole. I mean, this is it right now. I mean, it's time to put the big boy pants on. You think about this Texans offense coming in without their number 1 running back, without their number 1 receiver, and what happens? These Devin Singletary and Noah Brown. I mean, who in God's name would have thought Noah Brown had almost 200 yards receiving today against the Bengals? Just absolutely terrible, Mon. I mean, and we talk about this pass rush by the Bengals. It was non-existent. There was no blitzing. There was, again, C.J. Stroud had all day long. And you kind of, when Tyler Boyd dropped that go-ahead touchdown, honestly, it took, after all of that happened within those 4 minutes at the end of the game, when Tyler Boyd dropped that touchdown, you could just feel all of this excitement, everything just escaped the stadium, because I feel like everybody in there felt the same way. The Texans are going to go down and win this football game, and that is not how we should feel. But that was the feel of this football game. I will tell you this. After Joe Burrow threw that second interception on, half of the stadium left. Half of it left. Cam Taylor-Britt picked it off on 3rd down. A lot of people tried to trickle back in, but a lot of people had already left and almost missed an incredible Bengal comeback. I don't know, man. This was a tough one. This is a really tough one.
Yeah, it was. I'm really disappointed. I sent out a tweet about it, and I'm not trying to be a Tyler Boyd apologist. I'm not. He should have caught it. We 95% chance of winning the game. You're right. He should have caught it. It's the last play of the game. It's a very dramatic, portion of the game. Hey, potential, comeback, steal a win. One of these games we don't deserve winning, but we won it. Yeah, he should have caught it. Guess what? We shouldn't have given up 188 yards rushing. Noah Brown shouldn't have had 170 yards receiving. And, there's a lot to digest in this game. And just to come in and say it's on Boyd, yes, I agree. I agree with, Jake, you had a valid point there. He should have caught that ball. But I'm just trying to add some more perspective to it. It was a lot more than Tyler Boyd. It should have been a comfortable win for the Bengals.
Well, he had a rough game, right? He had an up and down game. He catches the big, he makes the big play to set up the go ahead touchdown that he ended up dropping. That was a huge play in the game. But early on, Mon, he dropped a third down reception that would have set the Bengals up nicely on the other side of the 50-yard line. Tyler Boyd had a rough day today. He had a rough day. A couple big drops. He did have a couple nice plays, but again, you got to make those plays at the end of the game. 3rd and 13, Mon. 3rd and 13, and somehow Joe Burrow finds a way to get Tyler Boyd the ball. And with T. Higgins out, guys have got to step up and make plays. Trent Irwin, his 2 catches were huge. He had 2 big catches. But guys have got to step up when this is the same thing that we've dealt with for 2 years. We lose a receiver and we struggled. A Jamar Chase with a messed up back is out there carrying this team. Other guys have got to step up, and Tyler Boyd had his moment. He had his opportunity. He's got to make that play. But again, I want to be very clear. This is not on Tyler Boyd. You said it earlier. We talked about it. The offensive and defensive line today were absolutely terrible. I mean, they were terrible. There's no other way to say it. And I will say this: the one thing I'm still very confused about. Tyler Boyd makes that big play. We come out of the 2-minute warning, minute 53 on the clock. 1st down and goal from the 7-yard line. And we go empty and try to throw the football. We get sacked.
5-yard sack, yep.
And that, honestly, I'm telling you, being there live, it was just like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Why are we not running the football on 1st down and goal from the 7-yard line? Why are we not running the football coming out of the 2-minute warning? We're trying to run clock because we don't want to give them the ball back. And we come out and throw it 3 straight downs. Absolutely unacceptable. Terrible play calling that last drive.
Jake, I'll give you my opinion why we didn't run the ball. No Coach Taylor, in your burner account on Twitter, if you're hearing this, he doesn't have faith in that offensive line to run the ball up the middle. That's why. You're a coach. You hit it right on the head. 156. We're struggling to keep those guys from getting yards. Let's try to score with 50 seconds left. Let's continue to make them burn their timeouts. I think they still had 1. Run the ball. Instead, it's a 5-yard sack. And then the next play was like a horrible pass. And then the next one, obviously, was a huge drop by Tyler Boyd. I admit it was. I'm just looking at the whole game when I'm not trying to stick up for them. A lot of guys screwed up. But I don't think this coaching staff has faith in that offensive line. I don't care what I don't think they do. I'm not trying to be emotional. I'm trying to be real here. It's been a continual issue for years. How many times, Jake, have we seen the Bengals struggle 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 4th and 2? They just can't do it consistently like good teams can. They can't do it. And we let one slip away today. And thank you, Cleveland Browns, for helping us out a little bit. We're in 4th place. And I don't know, coach talk here. Maybe this is what the Bengals needed. A nice little kick in the rear end, and maybe they're going to come out Thursday night and play Bengal football. I hope so.
They better, Mon. They better. And we better get healthy quick because Thursday is a must-win football game for this football team. And hopefully the players understand that. I'm sure they do. I'm sure the coaches do. But today, honestly, the atmosphere, the stadium was electric. Cincinnati Bengals should have lost that football game at home today. And I don't know, but we got to move on, right? We got to move on, Mom, because the biggest game of our season is in 4 days. The biggest game of our season's in 4 days. And, hopefully we do.
Yeah, Jake, it's huge. I mean, we're just going to have to come out and say it. We don't win Thursday night. We just can kiss the division goodbye, and we need to focus on just becoming a wild card team. It'll be another AFC loss like today. Coach Taylor has to dig down deep inside. Remember that speech that Marvin Lewis had on Hard Knocks where he just dropped the F bombs,
Yeah.
dig down deep inside, be an effing pro and all that. We need to have one of those moments now because if they don't win, you can kiss the division goodbye. All right. You have to have, I mean, you're going to have another AFC loss potentially if they do lose. And I don't know, hope we can get in the playoffs.
Two teams on Thursday night coming off of very bad losses by both teams at home. Very bad losses. All right, guys. If you like this podcast, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you check us out on all the podcast platforms: Apple, Stitcher, Spotify. Make sure you give Maan and I that 5-star review. We very much appreciate that. Follow Maan at the Fire Maan on Twitter. Follow me at Coach Jake Owens 9 on Twitter. Follow the Bengals Pulse on Twitter at Bengals_Pulse 9. And on Instagram, the same without the at Bengals_Pulse 9. Follow Eric at eFlash with 2 H's 88 on Twitter as well. Maan, it's time to go. Are we going live after the game Thursday?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's try to go live, and maybe we'll drop in another show if we can, talk a little Ravens. But we'll see how the week goes. He is Maan. I am Jake. This is the Bengals Pulse. Hoo day, Bengal fans. We will talk to you very soon.
See you guys.